r/white people Twitter. Blong217 says, I'm sure this is just a coincidence and has nothing to do with Trump's intimidation tactics. Included photo. Madastard says, jury tampering with the assistance of Fox News. Gora1 says, how do we get Fox News in trouble? Bany After Destruction says, make them not be white. Kalinin says, so we just had a TV news reporter dox a potential juror on television. There is no possibility that isn't illegal. Always 4am says, it was the perfect dox. Intent was apparently to intimidate, but arguably enough reasonable doubt to avoid criminal charges. Kind of like Trump's perfect phone call. Devagitus says, also Jess Waters and Fox News played a part in this. All these scum, frick-s need to be thrown in jail. Boom Zakalika says, Slate published an article yesterday with enough information for strangers to identify her using just the internet. CNN this morning in breaking the dismissal story used a backdrop with the same identifying information that made her easily identifiable in the first place from the Slate story. An NBC contributor said on air something to the effect of, we weren't the ones who wrote the questionnaire. Merchant admonished all the press in the court, not just Fox. r/white people Twitter. Bradley98 says, how is he just allowed to lie without any repercussions? Where's the community note? Included photo. Jerkmieff says, burning the American flag is protected speech under the First Amendment after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Johnson in Texas v. Johnson. Usually when you burn a pride flag it's because you've stolen it and are being a bigot. Bradley98 says, so you mean I'm not allowed to steal someone's pride flag and set it on fire? Freedom of speech. Invincibleplusimba says, if you buy a pride flag, then go to a protest and set it on fire, without endangering people and committing crimes in the process, then it is considered an act of protest and it is protected under the First Amendment. The same applies to the US flag and religious objects. If you go to a mass protest and snatch flags along the way, then set them on fire without taking into consideration the fact that people around you can get hurt, well then you will be charged with theft, arson, endangering public welfare, etc. If you take a pride flag from an LGBTQ+ person and layer some harmful words in there, your misdemeanor crime will be upgraded to a hate crime because of the intent behind the act. Ozkikakost says, dude, don't worry about the burning flags. Worry about your cars, which are famous for spontaneously bursting into flames. r/white people Twitter. Kino1 says, Tesla has $55 billion for Elon, but not enough for workers. Included photo. Orskin531 says, I need $1 million. No, I need 55,000 times that much. Darksing yourself says, we really need to start writing it out. $55 billion. RVZ says, 7,586,206,896.5 hours of federal minimum wage, or a bit more than 866,000 non-stop years. Bionic Bananas says, Arnold Bernard is currently the richest person on earth with a value of $231 billion. Elon Musk sits at number 3 with a value of $189 billion. Dude can't stand it, someone is richer than he is. MurphDog09 says, Nod dog. Bradley98 says, maybe he could spend some of the $55 billion on stopping the conch in BioBots. This drunk Spring says, Typical billionaire type beat. r/white people Twitter. Bill Town says. Fox host sets new low for propaganda channel. Included photo. Mustla says. It's only a felony if you don't have wealthy friends. For someone like Trump or Waters, it's perfectly legal to jury tamper and intimidate. Waters will face no consequences for this, and Trump will receive a wag of the finger and a please, don't do this again, Your Majesty, from the judge. Matt Netherlands says. The nurse scares Jess? Why? Because she works in the medical field, so she must be an evil liberal that can't be trusted. I know the GOP is full of science-denying morons, but this takes the cake. Lol. Waters is a dipshit of the highest magnitude. Avenger 616 says. Funny, didn't they say to their base that they should lie to get on the jury? They could sabotage the legal system by tainting it and forcing a mistrial to save Orange Hitler? Within 48 hours they've told a lie, commissioned a crime, and then flipped it on its head to justify said crime as righteous. What the frick happened to allow this? Laziog says. Their definition of an undercover liberal activist, anyone who isn't in Trump's cult. This has been going on for quite a while and is being normalized. No one can judge Trump except his supporters. History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. r/white people Twitter. Tiffany Truer says. It is shameful. Included photo. Started from the top says. It's kinda tricky though, when the only way to rein in Big Pharma is via our elected officials. But of course, said politicians' campaigns were / are funded by Big Pharma. It's quite the frustrating / infuriating catch-22. How do we fix this? I wonder. Tallman 11282 says. There is an easy fix. Get corporate money out of politics completely. Citizens United needs to be overturned because that ruling is what opened the floodgates of corporate money going to politicians and essentially legalized corporate bribery. Lucky Earther says. There is an easy fix. Get corporate money out of politics completely. That's not an easy fix. Overturning Citizens United isn't going to magically fix it either. We had plenty of corporate money going to politicians long before that. Luke Kiefer 333 says. The greatest hypocrisy is that Congress is given the best medical coverage for free or on the taxpayer's dime. Meanwhile, telling the American people Medicare for all is terrible while pocketing millions of dollars from pharma, insurance, and hospital lobbies. 8-Bit Fitz says. Spend $372 million lobbying to keep prices high. They'd rather spend hundreds of millions on this than part with possibly less. Allowing people to access the medicine they need. r/white people Twitter. Professional Sub 270 says. Holy shit. Donald Trump and RFK Jr. are officially in cahoots. Included photo. The Line B4 Times says. Election fraud, working with another candidate to defeat another, voter suppression, the unlimited things they will be doing to steal this election. Civil Dinner says. How appropriate. They are also officially a pair of cooks. And at least one of them is a crook. I have to admit that I did feel a bit embarrassed for the people that thought they could pass off RFK Jr. as the more progressive alternative to Biden. Georgia Boy III says. My MAGA/Friends family are starting to move from Trump to RFK Jr. He's not getting Biden voters. He's gonna attract the crazes. John Hendry says. His biggest donor is also one of Trump's biggest donors. The only question is whether RFK Jr. is intentionally running to get Trump elected, or if he's stupid enough to not realize that he's a stooge being run as a spoiler. DD 97483 says, I'm shocked. Well, not that shocked. Who among us didn't know that no talent hucksters work together? r/white people Twitter. Bob Sonquajabo says, treating the big special boy like everyone is Banana Republic tactics. Included photo. Dragonfleece Levine says, we are a nation that employs the rule of law. All laws apply to everybody. Americans have always been proud of that. Until right-wingers got corrupted with democracy-destroying propaganda. I'm tired of the anti-American, frick s. That woman can, frick, right off and take Trump with her. Jajastang says, she's asking for Banana Republic tactics, where he is not held accountable and doesn't have to appear. Numeralist says, they're amping up their rhetoric, going to get worse every day. Supporting criminals, it's the GOP way, as well as pedophiles. Accomplished ad 1919 says, gross that his lawyers and spokespersons are well aware that this is standard procedure, but shamelessly lie about it. Nareverine 91 says, I mean, if he wasn't there and they had the trial anyway, I'm sure he'd complain about that too. Coolbobby 1978 says, it is Banana Republic tactics. When I wanted to try on a new pair of khakis I had to show up at the store. Stupid Banana Republic. Blotter at 23 says, anybody remember when Michael Jackson had to be in court every day, on time? That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.